welcome to the second race weekend of the DTM season 2012. We're here at the Lausitzring, and behind me you can see the drivers in the drivers parade, and let me tell you, it was a very exciting race weekend, so do enjoy the highlights.
Yes, thanks very much. We're at the Lausitzring, built on a former open cast coal mine. This circuit originally built for the likes of IndyCar racing, but we're on the road track which weaves between the 2-mile tri-oval here. Excellent crowd turning up, 72,000 people over the weekend. And the big question mark was, who would be quickest here? Would Mercedes still have the advantage? What about Audi? Or were BMW in the hunt after their excellent showing in the opening round of the series? BMW back, of course, after 19 years with some top drivers like Martin Tomczyk. So we can check out the circuit, the Hankook animation here. And the first thing to say is this is a counter-clockwise circuit, unusual in motor racing. And we do start on the oval, and the Audi and BMW race off towards the first turn, where the cars turn sharply off the bank circuit. Very tricky corner here. We'll see lots of action. Then going right, you can just follow it on the map. The little red dot shows you where we are on the circuit. We're on the infield section now. Long right-hander feeds into a left-hander. Traction so important here. And then we're up on the oval again, coming close to the wall along part of the oval straight, and then turning off the oval now. Another long left-hander. This circuit is mainly about traction and slow corners. Then this long right-hander again to the second fastest part of the circuit. Up the gears, up to 6th gear, and then braking hard. Brakes at a premium at this track, left again. And then we take a faster right, one of the fastest corners on the circuit, down to another almost hairpin bend, another right, and then a quick spurt of power to left, and then we're back again there, going very close to the wall, onto the oval, the last corner of the tri-oval, and then down the start-finish line, and that is a lap here at the Lausitzring. Circuit, 3.478 kilometres in its road form. We've got 52 laps coming up, which makes 180 kilometres. Qualifying, and what a sensation. This is how they celebrated in only their second race back after 19 years. BMW, first and second. And the pole man, it was Bruno SPENGLER, the French-Canadian, and he was delighted.
I'm very happy today to do the first pole position with BMW in the new DTM since we are back, since BMW is back. So it's a very special day for me, and I will remember that day actually for a long time.
Mercedes-Benz got that 1-2 with Gary Paffett and Jamie Green at Hockenheim a week ago. Paffett qualified third, Green qualified in 6th place. What about Audi? Their best contender was Mike Rockenfeller. He was in 4th place.
Qualifying 3. I was happy with the lap, and I squeezed everything out. So yeah, it's a good day, a good qualifying. I'm really not sad or not happy, and I'm quite optimistic for tomorrow because we worked a lot for the race.
Well, there's a man striding down the pit lane after qualifying in only 12th place. Timo Scheider had the brush with the wall, later head in the hands.
This morning the car was not too bad, and we changed just a bit on the car for quali session. We had slightly different temperatures, and that made the car in a different balance as this morning. We finished P12 now, which is disappointing, no question. But that's like it is. Last year I came from P9, finished second, maybe top 5 is possible.
Former Grand Prix ace Ralf Schumacher had a good run at the opening round in Hockenheim, but here he can only qualify 17th.
Well, I think in general, the first set has been good. Second, I struggled a bit with. I mean, we have to go into detail, into the data. But the general speed is very good, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
But the main focus of attention was, of course, on BMW, their first DTM pole in 20 years. There's Spengler certainly celebrating. Let's hear from their new team boss, Jens Marquardt.
Be rewarded with that qualifying result is what they all deserve for the hard work, and I'm extremely proud to be here this weekend and have experienced that super result for BMW in our second race only.
Yeah, there's the full qualifying list there. Bruno Spengler and Augusto Farfus doing a great job. 1-2 for BMW, Paffett and Rockenfeller, and then Mortara, Green, Tomczyk, Ekstrom, Molina in 9th place. And there you see the second page, Timo Scheider. We saw Andy Prio disappointing in 13th. Joey Ham, the American, 14th. Rob Wickens, the Canadian, is in 15th spot. And all the way down to the remaining contenders, 22 starters, remember. And the weather, well, it was pretty changeable over the weekend.
Here I am with the winner of the Hockenheim Ring and the leader of the championship, Gary Paffett. Now, qualifying yesterday, you're starting in P3 today at the race. Is that kind of what you were hoping for, or are you content with that, P3?
I'm definitely content with that, yeah. I mean, it's so very close this year, you know, especially with Mercedes, Audi and now BMW, and so many changes to the regulations. We expected some gaps, but there's no gaps, you know, it's incredibly close. You know, I missed pole position yesterday by half a tenth, 500th of a second, which is disappointing because I knew I could have gone quicker, but we've got to be happy with starting third because it gives us a great chance for the race.
And today is going to be a big adventure as well. In the race, it's a double pole for BMW. First of all, did you expect BMW to be so strong? And second of all, can you beat them?
So, first of all, were we expecting them to be that strong? No. Am I surprised? No. I mean, you know, they've put a lot of effort into this. They've recruited some great drivers from Mercedes and Audi. You know, they have done a good job. To be qualifying on pole in your second race, you know, to have the whole front row is a great achievement, and they've done a very good job. Can we beat them? Yes, I think we can. I think we've shown at Hockenheim we have great race pace, and hopefully we can have a similar sort of pace today and hopefully finish in front of them.
Definitely going to be a very exciting race. Best of luck. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, fortunately, race day was dry, but pretty chilly. The huge grandstand there, from where you can see most of the track, was absolutely packed. Flags waving. There's David Coulthard with the Susie Wolf, the traditional parade of the drivers. Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich from Audi. We knew it was cold. He donned his familiar woolly hat. Dirk Werner getting ready, starting from 21st spot after qualifying so well in Hockenheim. Third, remember, they're climbing into one of the many yellow cars in the race. And David Coulthard talking there with his team boss, Peter Mucker, qualified P20. And of course, he had an 8th place finish at Hockenheim. Christian Vitoris with that interesting crash helmet, various names of his mechanics on it. He was a 14th. Norbert Haug seemed to be in a good mood, together with Ralf Schumacher. There is Timo Scheider. Of course, we noticed the former champion had those problems. We'll start from P12.
It was a very historic moment yesterday because BMW, after all the time, returned to the DTM and you got the first pole. How did that feel like?
Felt very special. First pole for BMW, something very special. I remember that day all my life. But now today is a different day and try to make the best out of the race.
P10 for a young man who's a rookie, youngest man in the DTM, son of Patrick. It's Adrian Tambay, and he qualified 10th, hoping to do better here. Miguel Molina, the Spaniard, is third season now in the DTM. Also hoping to get the best out of his Audi. former champion Matthias Ekstrom. Remember, he was on the pole position for the first race. Here is the familiar BMW colours, flown by Martin Tomczyk, one of the new signings for BMW in the closed season. And Jamie Green, second in the previous race. Here he is, P6 for him. But very happy with the setup of the car, particularly on full tanks. So Green hoping to move up. There he is, the Monegasque-based driver. Sitting quietly there, Mike Rockenfeller, ready for the start. And the tyre warmers come off and get bolted on. Remember, everybody on the same Hankook tyres. Everyone with similar chassis, although of course the bodyworks look different. The chassis is common to all of them. Let's hear now from Verena.
Gary Paffett starting in P3. What are you hoping for in the race? I mean, after all, you've got two BMWs right ahead of you.
Well, the first corner is quite tricky here, and I hope everybody plays fair. We had good speed in the warm-up, and hopefully we can generate the same speed in the race, and I think it looks good. Gary won from 6th in Hockenheim a week ago, so he should be in a position to fight for a win, but probably several people can do that. Jamie was fast as well from 6th position. But yeah, we need to make the first corner and then we are in good shape, I would say.
And prognosis for the weather, what if it rains? Is that good or bad for you? What do you think?
I think nobody has got real experience this year with these new cars. It's the same for everybody at the end of the day, but it looks like we just can make it through the race without rain.
And there is Gary Paffett, of course, going into this race, leading the championship in the black Mercedes-Benz. This man was the big surprise, of course, Augusto Farfus from Brazil. And Farfus, former single-seater ace, former Formula 3000 champion a decade ago. Much success in Alfa Romeo and BMW cars in the European and World Touring Car Championship. And let's now check out the grid. And on the front row, the two BMWs, their lockout. It's Spengler and Farfus. Moving through P3, Gary Paffett and Mike Rockenfeller, the best of the Audis. Then Edoardo MORTARA and Jamie Green fill the third row of the grid. And behind them, Martin Tomczyk and Matthias Ekstrom, who used to be teammates, now, of course, mark rivals. Miguel Molina in the second of the Red Bull Audis, and Adrian Tambay showing well in qualifying. Then Filipe ALBUQUERQUE from Portugal and Timo Scheider, 12th after the problems. Then Andy Priaulx, an unlucky 13th for him, and alongside him Joey Hand. Robert Wickens of Canada and Ralf Schumacher in P15 and 16. And then in 17 and 18, it's Roberto MERHI and Christian Vitoris. Christian hoping to move up, we'd expect that. Susie Wolff and David Coulthard there on the penultimate row of the grid. And then finally, it's Dirk Werner and Rahal Frey. So 22 cars lined up, 8 Mercedes, 8 Audis, 6 BMWs, but the 2 BMWs at the front. 5 lights will go on. 5 lights go out, and they're off into that first tricky corner. Will they all make it round? The sharp left-hander, best part of 500 horsepower, powering these cars away, V8 engines, and they're all on the brakes there, and they'll probably bounce across the curb, some of them. We've seen plenty of incident here in the past at the start of these races, but this time it seems to be all clear. And it's Spengler who's made a cracking getaway. Spengler from the pole position, the man who's come so close to winning this championship in the past. But it's always been the bridesmaid, just lost out in the last couple of rounds last year. The year before, yes, was beaten by Paul di Resta, now in Grand Prix racing, of course. And here they are on the infield section. And it's Spengler. But Paffett was strong at the start as well. And the 2 black cars at the front, and then it's Farfus tucked in there in 3rd place, and then Mortara, the best of the Audis. And there, middle of the pack, see ALBUQUERQUE can't miss the bright blue car. We go on board, some great racing action here. These all custom-built racing cars, remember. They might look like the A5 or the C-Class Coupe or the BMW M3, but they're custom-built racing cars with carbon fibre racing chassis. And, of course, the bodyworks are all specially made out of carbon parts. They don't even have the steel roof from the production car, which they used to have last year. But this is the all-new rules with the new point-scoring system. And, of course, also now a manufacturers' championship as well as a teams and drivers' championship. We didn't have that before. We saw Prio down there. Prio in the purple and white BMW, the Crown Plaza back car. Now see this start once more. And the two BMWs both getting off well. Pretty well everybody going strongly. Didn't see too many people dropping back. Susie Stoddard in the purple car. Can't miss her near the back. Or Susie Wolf, as we call her these days. Married last year to the man who is part owner of the Williams Grand Prix team, Toto Wolff. Bit of a lock-up from Gary, but that won't hurt him. A few cars bouncing across the grass. Go on board with Jamie Green to see his perspective of the start. Jamie getting a pretty good start. Thought about going down the inside or down the middle, down the inside, and this is Jamie Green's excellent start. And Farfus just beaten away, and good battle there with Jamie Green. Jamie Green and Mortara battling away. Mortara, the former F3 Euro Series champ. Oh, he got a bit of a nudge from Jamie Green. Jamie Green giving him a helping hand. No bits of bodywork flying off. They don't have so many aerodynamic dive planes on the car as they used to, and we used to see those fly up. And look at Jamie Green down the inside. See the Playboy signature on the top of Mortara's car, the black and red car. But a good early race struggle here. And Jamie Green, of course, trying to move up second last weekend. Hectic schedule for these teams, 3 races in 4 weekends to start off the new DTM with a real bang. But certainly Spengler seems to be in a good position. Pre-race there was speculation that once the race started, the Mercedes, with what we know is their very good handling on full tanks, would be in front of the BMWs, but that's not the case. Ralf Schumacher is further down the field. Green in 4th place. But at the front, there is Christina Sura. She's Martin Tomczyk's fiancée. There's Spengler still in the lead. The 2 black cars, it still is the men in black at the front. Looking right down on that corner from our camera up on the crane. Mortara certainly coming under a bit of pressure now. Joey Hand, we see, didn't make any progress. In fact, dropped back 2 or 3 places. Prio pushing hard. There's Joey Hand in the blue and white car. Trying to get past Roberto MERHI. Roberto MERHI, the graduate from the F3 Euro Series, and a bit pushing and shoving going on there with Vitoris elbowing his way through. And Vitoris takes Ralf Schumacher with him. That was all a little bit hectic. And yeah, you see the nudge there on the Audi of Tambay. Tambay's got the opposite lock on as the Mercedes Bank car comes through. Vitoris, a winner in GP2 last year, there he is. Yeah, certainly got a bit physical, and Tambay, who's come out of a single-seater background, not used to that. So Tambay goes back. And there's Joey Hand makes a run on MERHI and gets through. And David Coulthard looks as if he's going to go with him. And Prio behind gets a good view of it all. So Joey Hand, who's already won for BMW in the GT category of the Sebring 12 hours, he's making a move. His manager Calvin Fish is here over from America this weekend to check out progress. Joey Hand, of course, never seen this circuit before, where many of these guys know it so well, including Bruno Spengler. Oh, you can't get any closer than that with the onboard, virtually pushing the BMW along. There is Hand, there is Coulthard, there is Merhi. They're the three in your picture at the moment. And then it's Prio and then Dirk WERNER. But they're scrapping over, what, 15th, 16th, 17th place. Up front it's still Spengler and certainly Paffett making no impact on him at all. More great on board, getting ready. Remember, at the DTM, they have to make 2 pit stops. In the past, they put fuel in, but now it's just a matter of putting a new set of tyres on. There's only so many tyres allowed during the weekend. And here already the pit stops. And Mortara, the second of those 2, coming in. Tomczyk as well. And it's a really rush hour down here. Let's see how quickly they are. And that's not bad. 3 seconds is really mega. Under 4 is a good job. And the BMW teams, remember there's 3 different teams run these cars, they go absolutely side by side. Oh, dearie me, that was Ekstrom. Just getting out in front of his old mate Tomczyk. They are friends there. And if you stand near these cars, this V8 roar, it's absolutely mega. It's so loud. These cars make a great racing noise. Just love the audio from these cars. We see it again, and the Red Bull car, of course, is Ekstrom. And in the end, Martin Tomczyk just had to lift off the throttle, didn't he? Look, Tomczyk was already coming. Ekstrom got the launch, and of course, then he was on the inside. So nearly could have had an incident there. And the girlfriend has a wry smile. Christina, who's done quite a lot of racing herself in the past. She knows what it's like out there. And Paffett comes in. And could he perhaps get the lead with a quicker pit stop than Spengler? And it shows that motor racing is a real team sport here. These crews can win or lose a race. Mortara, 4.9, not quite up to spec. So I was saying a little earlier, the BMWs are run by 3 different squads, and Spengler with the most experienced of those, which is Charlie Lamb's Schnitzer organisation, famous for the last 20 years or so for running BMWs and run them to success and victory indeed at Le Mans and the Nürburgring 24 Hours and many other races. As this battle continues with Mortara coming under pressure from Tomczyk.
Basically, Jens Marquardt from BMW said in the last days that his team definitely needs to improve on the pit stops because they're not fast enough yet, and they apparently trained in the last few days. And we actually just saw it earlier when Matthias Ekström from Audi did a pit stop. He was a lot quicker than Tomczyk and thus overtook him, and so they do need to improve. And we also saw a brilliant pit stop from Gary Paffett with 3 seconds, and that's when Bruno Spengler comes in here now. The team is getting ready now. They really do need to do a perfect pit stop, otherwise they might have the problem there as well that Spengler might lose his lead. So this is going to be very interesting how the team manages to do this pit stop now. So all eyes on them.
Yeah, thanks very much from that pits report there, Verena. And this struggle continues with the Mortara proving to be the fastest of the Audis out there. Mortara, double winner, remember, at the Macau Grand Prix. What a single-seater success before he moved to Audi. Now, all action down here at BMW. Getting ready for Spengler. Remember, this pit stop is vital. If these guys don't get it absolutely perfect, then this man could come out and he will be behind the Mercedes-Benz challenge. Let's see, has to run on the pit speed limiter. Flames coming out of the exhaust. Just look at that from our shot. Doesn't have to shut down the engine. The car goes up on the air jacks, down again, out, and 4 seconds. Excellent stop. And Charlie Lamb has marshalled those Schnitzer team boys well, as I well thought he would. And he comes out of the pits, and he's going to stay in front of that man there, because that is Gary Paffett running in second place. Paffett thought he might be able to leapfrog him perhaps in the pit stops, but no. Schnitzer did a good job. Farfus still running in third place. Green hasn't made his pit stop yet, so he is shown in the lead, but of course he has to make the pit stop. Schneider just accelerating away from one of the last pit boxes here at this track, which twice hosted the Champ Car Series around the 2 Mile Oval. We're on the road course though, and we go on board with Mortara briefly. Mortara still under pressure, and there Timo Scheider in front. All the positions being mixed around with the pit stops. You see those red dots alongside the names. That shows how many pit stops they've made. Most people have made one, but Green hasn't. See, Hand has moved right up to 5th by dint of not stopping yet, and Hand looks as if he's on a long first stint. And look at that, down the inside goes Tomczyk. Nice move by Tomczyk in the BMW. Overtakes one of his old Audi mates. Tomczyk and Spengler, the two that were hired by BMW away from rival manufacturers. But also I understand that they tried very hard indeed to get Gary Paffett. Gary stayed true to Mercedes and got a long-term contract for his loyalty. And let's see this move. Tomczyk then goes to the inside. Mortara washes out a bit, runs a little bit wide. Clean move. BMW like that. BMW having an outstanding day here. Just putting it on the pole was something they hadn't really anticipated, but here they are leading. Jamie Green's garage complete with the wooden flooring. And well, they haven't made their stop yet. Green still out there, running of course without a car in front of him. They do like to run in the fresh air without the turbulence. They can get a little bit of extra speed, and now Paffett is getting really close. Is Paffett going to pounce now on Spengler? They've raced a lot in the past as teammates, but now they are rivals. BMW, the newcomers, the returnees to the DTM, this German Touring Car Championship, although of course it is an international championship with the best part of 10 different nationalities taking part. And of course tracks all over Europe. And remember, the next race in 2 weeks' time is going to be at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. These cars are going to be fantastic round there as finally we get ready for the Jamie Green pit stop. And Green comes in, he will cede the lead, but where will he come back out? Again, as they really brake hard, you see the flames flash out of the exhaust pipe. Best part of 500 horsepower these cars produce. All the engines producing pretty similar power. And there's the stop on his march. Jamie Green done this so many times before. Long-time Mercedes driver, yet to win the championship though. And that was a good one. Green comes out, but he's going to be behind Farfus there. Farfus goes through in the blue and green BMW. Now remember that Mercedes and Audi are using the same engines as they had in the old evolution of DTM cars, and BMW were allowed to build a new engine, but the rules are very tight. The architecture for the engine, the shape, the size is all defined by the regulations. So Jens Marquardt was telling me before the race, if the rules had been a little bit more lenient, they would have made the engine quite a bit smaller. He doesn't see it as an advantage that they have a new design of engine in the car, but the other team bosses probably disagree. But whatever, we've got very close racing between the three marks. Spengler back in the lead after the green pit stop. And you can see that. Was there a bit of a problem there with the left rear? I think there was. Yeah, the heads go down. Spengler, Paffett, Farfus and Green, Ekstrom, Timo Scheider. Everyone has made their first stop. Some have already made their second. and going a bit too deep in there was Vitoris, but it seemed to work for him. And Vitoris going past Mike Rockenfeller. And Mike not having the race he would have hoped for. There is Farfus from Curitiba in Brazil. And this is another vital stop. This is Paffett's second stop. Spengler's still out there. I suspect Spengler will come in the lap after this. Again, they've got to get this absolutely right. How quick is it? Oh, it's a good one. Just a tad over 3 seconds. Now, is that good enough to put him ahead of Spengler when Spengler makes the stop? Quite a difficult transition onto the racetrack there. And Farfus continuing to do this excellent job here. Harried though by Jamie Green. Green, who came out of a background of stock car racing many years ago, raced on the little short ovals of the British Midlands. And there is Priaulx making his stop. And Priaulx, who was the best of the BMWs last week, came home in 5th place. Is struggling more today. But look at this is a good battle between the BM and the Merc. And it's not an easy track to overtake on this Lausitzring with those slow corners, as now Spengler comes in. Again, the pressure is on the Schnitzer team. Can they get him out in front of Gary Paffett? And look at they 3.7, just about 0.4 of a second slower than his rival. That should be enough. And Spengler comes out, and Paffett is coming, and there is Paffett turning in now, and Paffett is not going to have enough momentum, I don't think, to get past Spengler. Spengler and Paffett, Farfus shown in the lead, but effectively this is the battle for first place, the top step of the podium as they come so close to that unyielding concrete wall. And there Paffett goes wide, just trying to carry enough speed to poke his nose down the inside of this BMW. Just wonder also at the tremendous reliability of these all-new cars. Remember, every one of these cars in the field today was brand new for the race a week ago, and the reliability is excellent. Look at it again, Green is right up the back. Is he pushing Farfus? But can he get by? It appears not. Tries to go around the outside. And now Green then dives into the pits. And Green making that very late pit stop initially for stop 1, short middle sector, and then this is stop 2, almost the last man to do it. And there he goes, 4.2, not quite an award winner. And Ekstrom comes in, another late stopper. Ekstrom was in the pole at the Nürburgring. Former DTM champion, a former winner of that Race of Champions Stadium event. And a man who's been racing in this series for 10 years, but really enjoying these new, stiffer, more modern, and indeed safer 2012 DTM design cars. Farfus yet to stop. Tino Scheider yet to stop, but just looking at the timing screen, Farfus will drop behind. Probably back into 3rd place, probably back into the grips of Jamie Green, in fact. So, now Farfus comes in, hard on the brakes. Pit speed limiter, it feels as if you're just walking along, concentrating on stopping right in the exact place. Best part of 15 guys go to work. Hankook rubber goes on, and out he goes, and 4 seconds. Good for Farfus. For a team that's not used to these kind of pit stops. And here Farfus comes out, and where's he going to be? relative to his rival. And Farfus in front of green. So the order before the pit stops is still the order now. Two battles going on, one for first place. Well, lots of battles going on, and this is another one, but two at the front, Spengler versus Pafford, Farfus versus Green, BMW ahead of Mercedes as we have an inter-Audi battle going on here. Ekstrom and Timo Scheider. Joey Hahn yet to make a stop, he's shown in fifth, but this is in effect the battle for fifth place. And top honours at Audi. Audi also been racing in the World Endurance Championship this weekend, so it's been busy for the Ingolstadt manufacturer who won that race, but it doesn't look as if they're going to win this one as Ekstrom gets the better line through the corner, goes past Timo Scheider. Two long-time teammates run wheel to wheel briefly.
Yes, I'm here with Mr. Marquardt. Now, Mr. Marquardt, Spengler is doing a phenomenal job in the lead. Farfus in P3 at the moment, also doing a great job. Do you think they can keep up their speed? I mean, they really are under pressure.
Well, they are under pressure. It's very, very tight, but luckily we are through the pit stops, and the pit stops went well this time, so I'm really proud of everything, and I think Bruno knows what to do, and also Augusto, and I'm just keeping with him.
A little earlier I was talking about the reliability, and it appears we have a problem. Looks as if it's in the transmission for Canadian Robert Wickens, winner of the Renault Formula 3.5 Championship last year. Agonising for him. And up front still, Spengler getting closer to a historic win for BMW. It was 1992, the last time they won in the DTM. Roberto Ravaglia at the end of the season with a double victory. Ravaglia now retired, but Gary Paffett wants to stop all that. But even if BMW don't win, what a magnificent performance there from the Munich company. But Spengler seems to be in good shape. And remember now they're, a wild ride there for Paffett, just pushing so hard, so determined to try and find a way by, just trying to harry Spengler into a mistake. He's been watching him for lap after lap, and I think he's worked out that there's no place that he's really any quicker than Spengler, so really it's just a matter of keeping the pressure on. And now we go to the final lap, and the Schnitzer crew and all of BMW go to the wall for what is going to be a famous, indeed a surprise victory for BMW. And Marquardt doesn't know where to look, but Spengler is coming home, coming towards the checkered flag. This is better than they ever could have dreamt of as he heads towards the finish line. And after the best part of 20 years, BMW, in only their second return race, win, and it's a 50th BMW victory, and it's the 10th for Spengler in the DTM. And they know how to celebrate. Paffett, though, gets second place, puts him well in the lead of the championship. There's Jens Marquardt. Marquardt, new to BMW, headhunted. He had worked for Mercedes-Benz engines and the Toyota Formula 1 team. He says that this is the most difficult job he's had in motor racing. And they're the fans, they certainly enjoyed the battle.
Yeah, Mr. Haug, congratulations, second place for Gary Paffett. He really was at Spengler. I mean, he's trying his best to overtake, but he couldn't close the gap. Are you happy with the second place, nevertheless?
Well, if you're in a position to win, you want to win. But, I mean, to be quicker is one thing and to overtake the other. I think everybody could see we could apply pressure, but it's just not possible to overtake if the cars are similarly quick. So good job from BMW. Congratulations to Bruno and BMW for the first win. We have been competitive. I think a better place on the grid would have made a difference, or I think strategy-wise they just followed what we did. And you know, if you are the second one, then you need to act, and the other guys can quickly react. It was possible, but it was a close race. It was a good race also from Jamie. For him was third possible, now it's fourth, but point standings are okay, and we show that we are absolutely fully competitive in the second race as well.
Spengler's last victory came at the Norris Ring. He flung himself onto the bonnet. He does it again and packs that BMW. And Farfus there with the third place. And Verena is down there with Mr. Marquardt.
Did you ever think that in just the second race of your return to the DTM you would have a victory?
No, absolutely not. This is a really, really moving moment. Fantastic, yeah. After 20 years of absence, Bruno driving from pole in the M3 straight to the first win in the second race. Augusto coming in third. Martin in the top 10 as well. 3 cars up there. This is just amazing, incredible, and I'm so proud of that team. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, here confirmation of the result. Spengler and Paffett, the gap 1 second and a bit. Farfus, Green and Ekstrom winning that Audi battle against Scheider, then Tomczyk, Mortara, who faded a bit, and then Albuquerque comes home 9th, going through. Coulthard 12th this time out of the points, and Rockenfeller disappointed. Hand to Prio down in 17th.
Congratulations, a very, very historic moment. First victory for BMW. How do you feel, Bruno?
I feel crazy, to be honest. I don't even believe it. I mean, it's a victory number 50 for BMW, and I've done it. So, I mean, it's such a special feeling. I remember that weekend. I mean, first pole position for BMW and then first victory. I remember that weekend all my life. That's so special. I feel so special at the moment. And I think we're going to have a great party tonight. And I mean, thanks to my team, they've done very good pit stops during the race, even though we had a lot of pressure from behind. They've been strong, and my guys have been very strong, even though the lack of experience, they have been great. All the people at BMW are so happy now. They deserve that win because they have done such a hard work. I'm very happy. Thank you.
So the fans wave their flags, and the championship after 2 rounds looks like this. Gary Paffett in the lead with the 43. Then it's Jamie Green, Bruno Spengler, Ekstrom, Farfus, Vitoris, and there you see the rest of them going into the next round at Brands Hatch. But now we can go back down to the pits and hear from Gary Paffett, who finished second.
Congratulations, second place. You were fighting really, really hard, but you couldn't quite pick up the speed. You couldn't close the gap, but you're trying so hard.
Yeah, I remember a race here behind Matthias Ekstrom doing the same thing. It's tough to overtake around here, and when you're very closely matched in the middle sector, you lose downforce, you lose drop back, and then I closed again in the tight section. So it was incredibly difficult, but I had to stay as close as I could in case he made a mistake, and he didn't. So well done, Bruno.
And hijinks, of course, on the podium, and Spengler has the gold bottle as the winner of the race. And certainly moments to savour. Let's hear now from Augusto Farfus.
How is it up there on the podium?
Great. I mean, after this is my second race in DTM, I'm immediately on the podium. So I'm very pleased. I mean, I had a great speed through the whole weekend. And being podium, I think it just shows how good BMW and how hard BMW work in the winter. So I know the victory is around the corner and it won't take long, and I will be on the top of the podium. So well done to Bruno, well done to BMW. Nice race. Looking forward for the next one.
And also, what about Jamie Green, who kept the pressure up on Farfus but just couldn't quite get by with his Mercedes?
Yeah, obviously the pit stops weren't ideal for me today, and I lost some time there. I think the main thing is that my speed was very strong, so from my side I think I drove a good race, and I'm pretty happy with my performance. Obviously the result could have been better, but that, you know, we can always say that in life and racing. It's not always perfect. And yeah, today that was the case, but we'll keep trying, and I think we've got a good chance for the future and rest of the season.
Well, it does seem that Audi have got a little bit of work to do with the new A5, but Verena caught up with the team boss, Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich, and asked him about the situation.
You've got Matthias Ekstrom in 5 and Timo Scheider in 6. You were pushing hard, but I guess it was just no chance. Why?
Yeah, at present we are not at the level that we wanted to be. On the other hand, we have to look that Matthias and Timo came from race positions, starting positions that have been worse than at the end they finished. But the guys that we had in front could not go any pace. We tried with Matthias and Eke something that we haven't tried before, and I think it worked out a little bit. It's a good base to work for the next 2 weeks, and we have now 2 weeks that we can prepare, and we will use it to be back where we want to be, fighting for victory.
Yeah, I don't doubt that Audi will be doing that, but certainly the man who was a star today, who put BMW back on the top of the podium, is Bruno Spengler.
This really was a phenomenal race weekend and a fantastic race. This is what it's all about, and we saw a very, very happy Bruno Spengler with his historic race. The first victory for BMW in only this second race, and also Gary Paffett of Mercedes-Benz with the second place is of course also very happy. And in third place, Augusto Farfus for BMW, a rookie who's up here on the podium. So anything is possible in the DTM 2012, and I'll see you in Brands Hatch. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks very much, and it's also goodbye from me, Andrew Marriott. See you next time.